Hello and welcome to the Video Gamers Anonymous podcast, where we talk about video games, movies, TV shows, and everything else in nerd culture. My name is Caleb, and I have with me again today Alex.
Hello, how you doing?
Doing good. And today we are going to be doing a MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe edition of the podcast. So we will still start out and talk about Ahsoka episodes 1 and 2 discussion, because that's on everybody's minds because it just came out. But then after that, we'll go into an MCU quiz with some questions for Alex. And then I have Guess the Music. These are all video game songs. And then after that, we are going to be doing an MCU movie tier list. And then
It's gonna be big, tier list.
Yeah, it's going to be, this might get kind of difficult. I haven't thought about it too much, so it'll be interesting to try and rank those all. And then we'll just have a general discussion. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so we'll talk about that. We may talk a little bit about Secret Invasion, because we've both been watching that.
Cool.
So, to start off, what did you think? We'll start off with discussing Ahsoka, episodes 1 and 2. So first, maybe we should say what we thought of it, if we thought it was good or bad, and then launch into actually discussing it with spoilers. We'll give a spoiler alert before we go into that. But what did you think of the first 2 episodes?
Cool. Do you want me to go episode by episode, or just a general for the first 2?
I think we can kind of lump these 2 together.
Lump these. Okay. Should we rate these 2 just for fun?
Yeah, we could do that.
I got a 1 to 10 rating, maybe.
Yeah.
And then, but like 5 being average, not like the typical scale, right? Or 7's average, like 5 being average, 6 above average, 8 great.
Sure, yeah.
Like if it was just okay, a 5 doesn't mean it was bad. Are you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. It just, if we do it that way, it kind of gives us some more flexibility.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think like 7 is average.
Yeah, and then anything just under average is like a 1. Like the rating's all weird.
Yeah. If it's like Okay, cool. So just to brief what I thought, I liked it. I thought it was really good. My initial thoughts were effects were great, characters good, music awesome. It felt like Star Wars. What do you think?
I basically agree with all of that. I thought it was really good. It's cool seeing it. It felt like a continuation of Rebels, but live action, bigger budget, and it just, I thought it was a really good start to the series.
Yeah, you mentioned Rebels kind of being another season, and it did feel like that, right? Like it almost felt like season 5, like you said.
Yeah.
Just in live action.
Yep. So what would you rate it on your scale? This is I feel like the first episodes are always the hardest to rate.
They are. So if I had to rate it on a scale, I would probably put it at, I'll say 7. But again, a 7 on our scale is a good score, 5 being average.
Yeah.
The reason 7 is it kind of felt like setup. Like a lot of the stuff we, as Rebels and Clone Wars fan already knew about. So we kind of knew the plot, and it didn't really like start yet. Like pretty much all they covered is stuff we kind of knew already.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. It's just, that's why I would give it a 7.
Okay.
But yeah.
I was thinking 7 or 8, so maybe I'll go 7.5. If that's
okay.
I thought it was good. It did. We'll talk a little bit more about this when we get into spoilers, but it did feel like some retread of what we knew already. But it did bring in some new stuff and set up some things that I think is going to be really cool. So I think maybe right now I'll give it a 7, but based on how that stuff gets paid off, it could go up to an 8.
Yeah, or it could go down.
It could absolutely go down. That's true. But yeah, I would agree with 7.
Okay, yeah. Not bad. It's not bad at all, but not like amazing, groundbreaking.
Right, yeah. They can't start off with like the best episode. They have to set up some stuff, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I know, it makes 100% sense, yeah.
All right, you want to get into spoilers now? I'm itching to get into spoilers.
Yeah, no, I'm itching too. Yeah.
Okay, so spoiler warning. We're going to be discussing the episodes in depth, and so if you don't want to hear that, click ahead in the video. I'll put a timestamp in the description for when you can click ahead to for the next section. So you've been warned. Okay.
Don't blame us.
So first question I have for you is there was about 2 minutes at the end of the second episode that was like shot for shot a Rebels episode. Was that the same? Like, was it that actual Rebels episode that they just reshot in live action? Or is it like a mirror of what happened at Rebels? So at the end, when Sabine cuts her hair and goes up to the mural and then turns around and sees Ahsoka, those are literally the exact same shots in Rebels at the end of Rebels. And I've seen theories of like that happened in Rebels and then they didn't work out as apprentices, so then Sabine went away and then now it just happened again, basically. And I've also seen theories where it's like that is the time that happened in Rebels and they just gave us more context and then shot it in live action, you know. And so I originally thought it was a second time. Like I didn't think it was the exact shot, but going back and looking at it, I'm kind of leaning towards maybe it was that exact moment in Rebels. So I don't know yet.
This happened, like these first two episodes happened behind the scenes, and then at that very end, you know, so this happened during Rebels pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, and then that very end scene, now it's caught up to the very end of Rebels, and the next episodes will all be post Rebels.
Right,
okay,
exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I would almost kind of rather it be the case, because if it is something where it's like it just so happened to happen exactly the way it happened before, that's like, I mean, I could be symbolic or something, but to me that's cheesy.
I could see them doing that, but I kind of hope it's the second one now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting though. I didn't even notice that now that you pointed it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't mind that. Now, I had a question for you. So what do you think, because we were talking about how, you know, it's pretty much stuff we knew about, right? Like the setup and everything. We obviously knew Ezra was with Thrawn, and, you know, they went somewhere, and Star Wars loves their maps, by the way.
I know.
But so my question to you is, I mean, that's kind of why I gave it a 7. Is it's not a bad thing, but I feel like they had to do that, right? Because people who didn't watch Rebels or Clone Wars might be a little more confused. Like, what do you think on that? Like, what would you say to people who didn't watch Clone Wars or Rebels? What do you think they would think of this episode or these two episodes?
I don't think they would. I think they may still like it. They would not get as much as the people who did watch Rebels, for sure. I mean, we have so much time with the characters already, and we know their backstories. I think they did a pretty good job catching up, especially like Sabine. They kind of talked a lot about Sabine and how she is and why she's that way. She's Mandalorian, you know, all that stuff. So I do agree that I think they had to do a lot of that this episode of catching people up, or these episodes catching people up, so that they could at least be on a similar page as the people who watched Rebels. So hopefully going forward there'll be more new stuff, and
And I think, I mean, the setup is interesting, because I agree. I think you hit it on the nail. Like, people, you know, that watched Rebels and Clone Wars, like you and me, I mean, you know, they're saying Ezra, you know, oh, she'll do it for Ezra. That's not, I feel like that stuff doesn't really resonate with people who haven't watched it, but maybe it will in future episodes. Maybe we'll see Ezra and Sabine go and meet, and they'll be like, oh, this is why, like, she missed him. You know, they'll have their own context within the show. Well, hopefully, if Ezra plays a big part of it in the future. But what was I going to say? What I was going for is, oh yeah, that's right. So you're talking about new things going into, like you said, the setup episode, and I think they're going in a very interesting way. Like, what did you think of them almost confirming, like, a new galaxy.
Yeah, they definitely did confirm a new galaxy. I think that's really interesting. I have some notes over here, and one of them is a theory that I talked about a little bit in the last one, but that other galaxy opens up some really interesting possibilities with the Rakata, I think has been mentioned in, I want to say in the sequels maybe.
Oh, really?
But okay. They're an ancient race, like a precursor to the Jedi from Knights of the Old Republic. They were like the original Force users. And so that could be, like, that race could be out there somewhere, or the Yuuzhan Vong is one I brought up before, who are like, they're like totally, they're not able to be affected by the Force at all, and they hate technology, and so they, in the Legends books, come and try and destroy like this galaxy or the Star Wars galaxy. So bringing in different races, and like the Chiss are probably going to be a big part, because I know Thrawn is a Chiss from the unknown regions or this galaxy. It's not totally clear to me yet, but I wonder if we'll see more Chiss.
So in Legends, Thrawn is from the unknown regions, right? But that's still within this galaxy, is it not? Or
yeah, I think it is.
So then, I mean, I guess they could retcon that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm very interested, because you're right. Because, I also did hear a theory as well about it kind of being where the witches of Dathomir originated. Because, you know, like in Star Wars universe, like they've never really explained like their magic. Like,
yeah,
you know, like
it's kind of Force-like, it's kind of dark side-like, but yeah, it's never really fully explained.
And so, like, there has been theories like that's kind of where they came from. Hence why, what's her name, the witch Morgan
Elsbeth.
something?
Yeah, Morgan Elsbeth.
Yeah, maybe that's why she's so interested in it, and not just finding Thrawn. Like, maybe you know, each person has their own little. And also, like, is the witch's power the only way that can activate it? Because when she put it on the pedestal,
had the flame.
Like, yeah. So, like, I'm very curious where this goes, and that brings me to my next question. That kind of leads into. To me, the most interesting characters, believe it or not, what do you think? I think the most interesting characters are.
Most interesting? I find Balin and his apprentice Shin really interesting.
They're so interesting, right? Like, how cool is that? They're not Sith, they're not Jedi.
His line about like, his line about like, oh, it'd be a shame to kill Ahsoka, one of the last Jedi. Like that made his character so much more interesting, because he's not just an outright bad guy. He has respect for the Jedi. Like, what's his goal? Why is he doing it? Yeah.
And what did Morgan say? She's like, oh, I sense. What'd she say? I sense some. She said something about like you're feeling bad or something. He's like, no, it's just something. Truth. Yeah. I sense like regret or feeling bad or something like that, and he's like, no, it's just the truth. And I'm like, you're right, though. That line right there is what made me a fan, and I like the whole mirroring of them master and apprentice, and then Sabine, you know, Ahsoka master and apprentice. It's interesting having two master and apprentices again, because I feel like we haven't had that, you know, obviously in a long time.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love their characters. You know, it's, you know, rest in peace. It's a shame he passed away in real life.
Yeah,
I'm very curious where his character goes this season. Like, is he in the show? You know, was he supposed to play a bigger role in future projects, or is this kind of?
That'll be really interesting to see. He did a really good job. Like, his presence was like intimidating, and like I don't know, he just did a really good job as this kind of murky person that you don't really know what he's trying to do yet.
Mm-hmm. People kind of compared him to Count Dooku, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see that.
As far as like, not necessarily like mannerisms, but just like
ideals.
Their ideals.
Yeah.
And then even his apprentice, I you know what I love about her is it's like a traditional master and apprentice. They're not making her overpowered or anything. Like, she truly cares about what he's saying, what he's thinking, as of right now, at least.
Right.
But like, I like how she's actually playing an apprentice part, and they're not trying to force like I don't know. I like how Balin's kind of is truly like a powerful. They're not undermining him. She's not undermining him. it goes, I guess, hand in hand with you saying he's intimidating. Like, I feel like even his apprentice knows, like, yeah, I can't. Balin's the master. Like, I can't mess with that dude. And she's also another interesting thing is, she was scared of, when she found out she's a witch.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So that's why I kind of, that theory about the witches kind of being from a different galaxy, because no one, or at least they've never truly fully explained. I mean, I don't know, chat or comments if you've read or seen anything more about the witches, but as far as I know, like, it's never fully explained. Like, they've always kind of been a mystery.
Yeah.
I mean, even Jedi, heard of them.
Yeah, that's true. I'm really glad that Morgan Elsbeth is a Night Sister and she's in live action, and I want to see more of that magic in live action. That'll be cool.
That would be awesome. What did you think of Sabine? And let's just start Sabine. What did you think of her portrayal in this show?
I think the actress is doing a really good job. I thought she did. Like, she seems like the Sabine from the show, and the Sabine from the show is really strong-headed and kind of annoying at times because she doesn't always do what she's supposed to. I think they're doing. I like the end part where she cut off her hair. That really made it seem like, yeah, this is going to be. That seemed like a character transformation moment, and we'll get to see her grow more because she's still kind of young. I mean, she's got a lot of growing to do. How old is she?
How long is this after? Well, I guess if
it's 4 years after. They said in the show some years after, so it's not totally clear. I've heard people say it might be 4 years or something. I don't know for sure.
I wonder if they just said some years after, it's like covered in butts.
Yeah, I think so.
I agree though, but that goes with a criticism for me. If I'm thinking like, critical, I can see if people who haven't watched the show can see her character kind of as annoying because they don't know what we've seen in 4 seasons of Rebels.
Which, I mean, that's how Ahsoka was too. So I could see why they would do that, make her a little bit annoying and make her make weird decisions like stealing the map. So that she has that room to grow.
Exactly. Character development, right?
Yeah,
I agree. And what about Ahsoka? What do you think of her? I mean, we've kind of seen her, on Mandalorian.
Yeah, I think she does Rosario Dawson does a good job of portraying the older Ahsoka who's been through a lot and has to be. She's always been kind of guarded, but I feel like the older Ahsoka is even more guarded. I'm curious if they go into how she trained Sabine and how that failed. I want to see like how she handled that and where she went wrong, and then we can.
You think they'll do like flashbacks?
They might not. They might just gloss over it and go forward. But it would be interesting to see that. I think that would bring more to her character, as like seeing Ahsoka fail and then how she fixes it. But
I mean, they already. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
One thing, I think Rosario Dawson nails Ahsoka's mannerisms. Like, she's always got her arms crossed, which she did in the show a lot.
Yes.
I think she nails the mannerisms of the character a lot. I
agree. And people are kind of saying, oh, like Ahsoka's supposed to be, chummy and I'm like, first of all, in Rebels, you're right. She's acting almost exactly how she acted in Rebels.
Yeah. They're thinking of the kid Ahsoka. Yeah.
Yeah, they're thinking of Clone Wars Ahsoka, which of course, she is a talker and,
but she's had to change.
Veteran,
yep.
Yeah, a veteran Jedi that's seen her,
all her people slaughtered.
Jedi. Yeah, slaughtered, and, her master turned to one of, the most evil, initially one of the most evil people, like, in the galaxy. So it makes sense. Like, it's called character development.
Yep.
So, especially when people who've watched the Clone Wars and Rebels should understand. But I've seen people who've seen those shows that are still saying this. And I don't get the issue with that. She's older.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's still never clarified either. So I know the robot said you'd be like the worst Force student. So does she have some of the Force, or does she not?
I saw a clip of Rebels when Kanan originally started training Sabine, and they're talking about like how she doesn't have that much of a connection to the Force, and Kanan says, well, everybody has a connection to the Force, just maybe not as strong as others or something. He basically said what we were thinking is that, you know, she might have some connection, but then what Hu Yang said, where he's just like, you have like the worst Force sensitivity of any any trainee ever. I think that kind of makes her training better in my eyes. They're not just being like, oh yeah, she can use the Force real well now, she's super Force sensitive. But I think it's just trying to train her up to be able to, you know, fight Thrawn and be able to defend herself from the difficult things. I don't think she's going to be like a full-fledged Jedi because she's not super Force sensitive, but everybody can tap into that a little bit.
Which, I remember that conversation too. That's when, with the dark, when he was training with the Darksaber and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You said.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, so then you answered. So you think she still is going to end up being a Force user, or do you think that line was kind of to say like, hey, you're never going to be a Force user like everyone else. Just rely on your Mandalorian skills.
She might learn to use some things that help her fighting, but I don't think she'll ever be like using the Force like Master Yoda, throwing stuff around, maybe. So she might. What I hope they do is have her use it to accent her fighting, or like do little things that help her, or be able to like sense things quicker, or I don't know, something like that.
That would be awesome.
I don't know how you would show that, but that's kind of what I think would be the coolest.
I agree. Because she's like, you know, she's a Mandalorian. She's great with technology, which that's something they didn't really go into with the show. And I could see how people would be annoyed if like, oh, you figured out that puzzle. Like
to be fair, one of my gripes with that is that puzzle looked really easy. You just had to spin around the circle a little bit.
You could have given it to some 10-year-old just fidgeting with it. It would have unlocked eventually.
But that's not that big of a deal. But it just seemed kind of silly.
I mean, when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, I mean, Avia could have figured that out after doing with it, you know?
Yeah.
But in context, like excluding that, number one, the two important things with her is she's very artsy, obviously, which they did kind of, you know, and they kind of alluded to that, like, you know, she could figure out the puzzle. She's good at this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the technology side too, right? Like, what did she build? What was she building for the?
They did that a little. Yeah, she built like that thing that could get through Beskar for the Empire.
Yeah.
And they did that a little bit with the droid memory. She hacked into that droid's memory with the technology.
Yeah. That's true. So they kind of a little intense moment, like, "I'll keep it going."
Yeah.
So I think those two things, hopefully, it keeps showing that she's well versed in technology.
Yeah.
And artsy, and also, again, like she's trained with the Darksaber, so she has fighting skills.
Yeah.
You know, and that fight in that first episode, I rewatched it a few times, and I watched. I read an article about it. I don't remember what article, but when I was watching the video or the episode again, like that was a great fight because she held her own, but you could see that the other apprentice, I forgot her name,
Shin,
Balin's apprentice. Yeah, you could see Shin was in control the whole time. Like,
I like
she was in control the whole time.
Like how Shin fought in that with like using her cape to like throw Sabine off balance, and you could kind of see she was in control the whole time, but you know, you could see Sabine was at least able to wield the lightsaber decently and stave off some attacks. On the note of that fight, Qui-Gon should still be alive, but no.
I've seen so much stuff.
I know. Justice for Qui-Gon.
Hey, in the defense of the show, though, she got stabbed towards the side.
Yeah, I know. It was a little different. And you could argue maybe they were closer to the like hospital or whatever, because Ahsoka was right there and could take her, and Qui-Gon was deep in the bowels of a like energy generator or something fighting Darth Maul.
Yeah.
So, there are reasons they could say, but still, it looked very similar.
I was actually surprised. Like, dang, they're actually like finally like they're actually having like an injury with a fight. Like, there's actually stakes. You know, like I'm not saying other ones don't. I just mean like in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, true.
I felt like no stakes. I know Finn did get injured with in the first episode with the back.
Yeah.
Well, like I was just surprised. Like like one of the main characters getting stabbed, you know?
Right.
But I thought that was a great fight. And do you think that's why? Now I'm thinking about it. Do you think that is why they have the storyline of? No, maybe it's not. Has a storyline of her being trained as a Jedi, because then people that didn't watch Rebels would be like, "How does she know how to use a lightsaber? How does she know this?"
Yeah, they may have added in those lines so that people knew. Yeah,
because they didn't mention anything about, number one, Kanan's name wasn't mentioned once, and I was pissed off about that.
True.
Our boy Kanan. And number two,
they didn't. Kid isn't in it either yet.
Yeah, that's true. What the heck? And then Zeb, man.
Yeah,
Zeb wasn't even mentioned.
It's only the first 2 episodes. We'll see.
I know.
I'm hoping they get him. Yeah.
I thought Kanan would for sure be mentioned, or like, you know, they would talk about her being trained and, you know, with the dark saber. But you're right. It's only 2 episodes, so I'll just in the you know, context of these 2 episodes. So that was the first episode, right? That was mainly what happened in the first episode, right?
Yeah.
Anything else we're missing?
Well, a couple of things from the first episode. I love that Hu Yang's back. He's awesome. I love David Tennant.
He's hilarious.
He's so funny. He's a good character. Did you notice that Governor Azadi is the same person that voice acted him in Rebels?
I did. And I read about it afterwards, and I want to rewatch it.
Did you know that he's also Mr. Krabs?
Is he? I didn't know that. That's all I'm gonna think of. That.
Yeah, I know.
That's funny.
But yeah, I think that's from the first episode. That's all.
Oh, the crawl! I love how there's a little crawl.
Yeah,
again.
I love that too. Yep.
Oh, and the music. I know I kind of
the music is so good. Earlier.
But gosh, the music in it, and specifically like Sabine's theme, which they had that theme in Rebels.
Yeah.
Oh my, it's so beautiful. Like it. I love the music in the show.
Yeah, I agree. So good.
It felt Star Wars, and it felt emotional, and it felt epic. Like everything you'd want in a Star Wars. Music, top friggin' on. If we were basing it off of music and special effects, it'd be a 10 out of 10.
Yep. Oh, and the Lothcat. I like seeing the Lothcat in live action. I think we saw one of them in Mandalorian, but it looked good.
Yeah, it looked good and ugly. The little face is still ugly, but it's so cute at the same time.
Yeah, I get it.
It's a weird creature.
So second episode, some things in that. That was where I do have a question on who you think Merrick is.
Yeah, so I went down the rabbit hole with that.
Yeah, they're not showing his face, and it seems like it's for a reason. And I've seen theories, but I'm curious what you think, what you've seen.
So I've read. So the 2 theories that I think is possible. One of them, I really hope it's not it, which I'm sure you know the one I'm talking about. Maybe. So the first theory, which I would find actually very interesting, and I've seen comparing, contrasting, and just ideas, is he's part of or the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've also seen theories that Shin and Balin were also part of the Knights of Ren, but we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know that. Either or, like, it would be interesting, and he's kind of suited like a knight in a way.
Yeah,
so like
true.
So I don't know. I've heard theories on that. Another theory I heard, which me personally would absolutely hate, is I've heard that it's Ezra.
Yeah, I've heard that theory too. I don't think so, but
I don't either.
I mean, it's technically possible, I guess. But how would he have gotten back?
How would he gotten back, and how would Thrawn, where would Thrawn be, or all of that? They say Thrawn is smart, so maybe he's already back and they're looking for nothing. But I don't know. I would personally hate that, because I don't know. When I first see Ezra, I want to feel that excitement, and that wouldn't excite me. It'd be interesting. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't want it to be Ezra, and I don't think it is Ezra.
So who would it be then? Because you're right. There's a reason, right?
Yeah. One theory, which I don't think is right, but someone saw Sam Witwer's, or I saw something where Sam Witwer is in the credits, and people are thinking it could be Starkiller from Force Unleashed. I have heard. I don't think that's going to be true. I think that either. I don't know how you bring him in without all his backstory of being Darth Vader's secret apprentice and like.
That's what I was going to ask you. How would they bring that in? Because what would he be doing with them? He's so powerful.
Yeah. I think the most likely thing is he's one of the Inquisitors we've seen before, because he did have an Inquisitor lightsaber. Yeah. I don't know exactly which one. Possibly one in season 2, I think, has a similar helmet. Like when they go up to the Sith Temple on Malachor. So maybe that one.
That's right.
But I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't think it's going to be Ezra. I don't think it's going to be Starkiller. But those are both really interesting thoughts that I didn't necessarily think about at the time.
And to be honest, like it looks like it would be the size and like body of Ezra. It really does.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's not. If it is a he, it looked like a he, and like he wasn't huge, and he was kind of skinnier. Like it looked like body frame stuff. It looked like it does look like Ezra.
True.
Like, but I would just. Why would he be doing that? Is he brainwashed? Is he actually? I know they dabbed into him kind of being on the darker side.
Yeah, they did that a little bit, but with his sacrifice of using the Purgles to send Thrawn, I don't think they would, unless he's brainwashed or something in the New Galaxy has like taken over his brain. That would be the only way I really think that could work.
The only way I think that would be okay is I kind of like the idea of Thrawn already figuring out a way back, and they're all like, they go there and he's already gone. Like it would make sense. Thrawn's character, right? Like he's smarter than everybody else.
Yeah,
he already
true.
Figured. But I don't know. On the same conversation of what's his name? Malik? Is that his name?
Merrick, I think.
Merrick. That's his name, or her. I guess we don't know yet. But that fight was awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Her little like slight dodge at the end with the lightsaber coming back was like such a cool move. And that whole fight was good.
And even like it was a really cool shot was when Hera was flying ship and you kind of see him fighting out in the
background. That was
cool. It felt very cinematic.
Yep.
What else is that episode?
Is it weird that I kind of like Chopper more in this than I did in Rebels? I don't know why, but
Chopper! I love me some. The second Chopper. When Chopper showed up and he was like, doing his little thing on the flight when Hera was, hey, go find this. He's like looking for it.
I could understand him better because you always technically can understand him. It's like real words just garbled up to sound weird. But I could definitely understand him better in this than in Rebels.
Oh, for sure. And like even like he uses his little arms a little more like people mannerism a little better. I loved it. Like I was watching with some buddies out here, and I was staring. I'm like, heck yeah! Like,
freaking
Chopper, my boy.
Said, let's just shoot this down and let it land on a bunch of people. Freaking Chopper, bloodthirsty little droid.
I think I love Chopper, dude. My kids love Chopper too. Then
I bet.
Like,
yeah, I bet.
Chopper, man, he's the real one in the Rebels crew. We didn't see the Ghost ship, right? The Ghost wasn't in there.
No, we saw the Phantom, but not the Ghost.
Yeah, I wonder if it's still around.
I'm sure.
If we want to talk about like what we hope for future episodes, real quick before we move on, I hope that they bring. They bring back Ezra.
Yep.
And then Zeb comes in, and they get the Ghost ship, and it's like a freaking Avengers or like a Guardians of the Galaxy thing where we finally see them all back
together. Yeah.
Even if it's just for the last episode, man. Like,
that would be cool.
And I know you can't get Kanan. God, Kanan.
Maybe like a Force Ghost or like you just hear him or something. Something like that.
Yeah,
bring back Freddie Prinze Jr.
And although I heard that he doesn't want to do anything with it.
Yeah, he was like one of the ones pushing for Kanan to die to seal up his story, I think. So
yeah, it was a great story. Kanan's, I still to this day, I think he's so underrated. Yeah, no one talks about Kanan.
Yeah,
well,
he has a great story.
Yeah. But anyway, that's kind of my hope and expectations. A big hoorah on the finale.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think you defeat Thrawn in the finale. I think that would be I think that'd be very disappointing. Such a build-up.
Yeah, at least not kill him. Maybe like have a victory in a battle, maybe, but like, and he goes away. Yeah, that would be fine. But like, It'd be interesting if Thrawn just like kind of owns them, and then they have to figure out in some other show. Like I don't know. We'll see. Because Thrawn is smart. I want to see his intelligence in the show. You know.
When I was reading that Dave Filoni was going to make a big movie, right? Like,
yeah, I did hear that.
Like 5 years, that's going to combine or bring together all the shows. Oh. That's kind of like a last hoorah.
Yes. Please.
So, like, what I think should happen is, like, so the Mando season 3 ended, and I don't think they should do any more Mando. If you want to continue that story, make like a Bo-Katan show or something. But the way Mando ended with him on the patio with Grogu.
Yep.
And then he doesn't show up for let's say the Dave Filoni movie comes out in 5 years, right? Like, and then he finally like so he's dormant. We don't see him or Grogu for like 5 years, and all of a sudden he pops up in the movie. Dude, can you imagine being in the theater and like Mando and Grogu showing up and
yeah, so exciting. That'll be like Avengers level. Yeah, bringing all the
like I would be so. I mean. Like, imagine no Grogu, no Mando for the next 5 years, and everyone's just itching to see them again. And it's like some big moment in a movie to help, like Ahsoka and Ezra and stuff.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
What's your kind of hopes and expectations for the rest of the season?
I definitely agree with you on what you said. I want to see the other galaxy and see more of like what's out there and learn what Thrawn is doing out there, because he's definitely doing something. He's putting together something, some scheme, like an army. And as much as I bag on the sequel trilogy, it will be interesting to see. And I kind of feel like we've already seen a little bit of how they show how the First Order came back. I want to see a little bit more of that, like the New Republic being that shipyard having a bunch of Empire loyalists in there was interesting. Seeing more of that kind of stuff, of how it got infected to like where the First Order can rise again and be that strong. I feel like that might make the sequels a little bit more bearable.
Yeah, I mean, we'll never watch them, or
no,
but we'll.
But maybe they could do more stuff with the sequels that could be cool, like that era at least. If they build out more of that stuff,
I've also read they could use this galaxy as a retcon to dismiss the other 3 movies.
Interesting.
Sequel trilogy.
Interesting. Okay.
So, because if you think about it, like it would kind of explain where was Ahsoka and all these characters during all those movies, because although I mean, they could easily just say they died or something, but anyways,
okay. Two more things. One has to do with expectations. I don't fully expect anything to come of this, but the hyperspace ring that they're building is called the Eye of Sion, and there's a Sith in Knights of the Old Republic 2 called Darth Sion. And it would be interesting if they do anything with that. Like maybe, I don't know. I doubt. I'm not totally sure, because Darth Sion is Sion, but they could do like Sion Scion for the Eye of Sion. So I'm not totally sure. Also sticking on the KOTOR thing, the HK assassin droids are back. They were first originally shown. HK-47 in Knights of the Old Republic is an amazing character, and I love seeing the HK droids, so that was cool.
It's the nerd in you coming out.
Yep.
Oh, great. Sweet.
But those episodes were, just to wrap up, those first 2 episodes, really good setup, hoping for really good payoff in the future, but they made me really excited for the next episode.
100% agree.
All right. Well, let's move on to the first of our 2 quizzes. We'll switch gears a little bit. So, welcome to the Nerd Pop Quiz MCU edition. And just a reminder, if Alex can get the correct answer without needing the multiple choice, he gets 2 points. If he needs the multiple choice, he gets 1 point. So, let's get into it. And I didn't do different rounds. I kind of just put the questions in MCU order. So we'll start off with the older ones and then get newer. So first one. This is from Iron Man. What was the name of the missile that Tony Stark was demonstrating in Afghanistan just before his convoy was attacked?
Mm.
You're going to have to dig all the way back to 2008 for this one.
I know. Was it just like... I think it's just something basic like Stark Industries missile.
Okay.
No.
It's not that. I'll bring up the multiple choice for you.
Okay.
They might jog your memory. Was it the Babylon, the Damascus, the Samaria, or the Jericho?
Jericho.
Final answer?
Final answer.
It was the Jericho.
Yeah.
Having to dig back, it's hard to remember, but once you saw it, you knew it immediately. Second question. What does Steve say after the transformation when Agent Carter asks him how he feels? And this is from Captain America, the First Avenger.
How do you feel? Bigger, I think he says.
Ooh, I'm tempted to give it to you.
Or huge or large or...
It's close. I'll give you the multiple choice and you'll know it right away. Does he say, ask me later, like killing some Nazis, invincible, or taller?
If you would have said like killing some Nazis, that would have been hilarious. Taller, do you?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a 1.5 for that, 2.5.
All right, I'll take it. Killing some Nazis.
Yeah.
So not his character, but that'd be great.
Okay. Which shield building is located in Washington, D.C.? Like the main big shield building in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it's isn't it called like the Avengers something headquarters? Oh no, the shield in Washington D.C. Yeah, right. Is it something to do with the... What movie is this in? Or is this just a base?
Winter Soldier.
Oh man, that's good. I don't know. I'm gonna need multiple choice.
Okay. Is it the Triskelion, Camp Leahy, the Lighthouse, or Shield Headquarters?
For some reason, Camp Leahy is coming into mind, so I'm gonna go with B.
With B, okay. It is not Camp Leahy. It's the Triskelion. Camp Leahy is in New Jersey, I believe. Shield Headquarters is in New York, and I don't remember where the Lighthouse is.
Triskelion, okay.
Yeah, it's that big. It's the building right where they launched the helicarriers the first time, I think.
So was it the one underwater? Here. What was underwater? The
helicarriers were underwater. The Triskelion was like, let's see. Was this
That's building? Where they meet. That's where they meet what's his face, right?
Pierce and
yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I know what you're talking.
Okay. All right. What is Falcon's drone called? What is the name of Falcon's drone?
I feel like it's called Red Hawk.
Final answer?
Yes.
You're so close. It's not Red Hawk. Is
it my God.
Red Wing, Sparrow, Irina, or Dark Raven?
It's Red Wing, isn't it?
It's Red Wing. I kind of gave that away with saying you were close, but I feel like you were close enough to...
That's what I would have picked that anyways.
Yeah, true.
Oh, man. Okay.
It is Red Wing. Okay. In The Winter Soldier, who killed Secretary Alexander Pierce?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's been a while. Think. I remember there. That's a good question. I remember they were having a conversation with, I believe it was Black Widow and also Nick Fury. So I'm wondering if it's one of those two. I want to say Nick Fury, I believe.
Is that going to be your final answer?
It is.
It is Nick Fury.
Yes, because I remember them all having conversations up in the building.
Yep, I was thinking you might get, tripped up by Black Widow, because she was there. But yep, Nick Fury was the one who shot him.
I had to think about it. I knew they were both there.
Yep, 2 points. Nice.
Sweet.
Who voices Dormammu in Doctor Strange?
I'll need multiple choice.
Okay. Is it Andy Serkis, Charles Martinet, Mark Hamill, or Benedict Cumberbatch?
Ooh. I think it's Andy Serkis. Hey.
Final answer?
Yes, sir.
I actually did not know this before I looked up this question. It is actually Benedict Cumberbatch.
Really?
Yeah. It's like his voice mixed with another's uncredited actor's voice or something, and then,
interesting.
Messed up.
I thought that was there for a trip up.
Yeah. I was looking up questions and like trivia about it, and I saw that he did the voice of Dormammu. I'm like, I didn't know that. I wonder if Alex will. So, yeah.
Right. That's kind of cool.
Yep. Learned something today. In the Age of Ultron, after the party at Tony Stark's place, who is the first Avenger to try lifting Thor's hammer?
These are good questions because, I should know it. I'm picturing the scene.
Yeah.
And I want to say Iron Man, but I feel like he wasn't the first one to try to lift it. I feel like he was the one that just tried the hardest and longest. That is a freaking good question. Okay. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say, I'll go with Iron Man. At the top of my head.
Okay, it is not Iron Man, so I'm going to bring up the multiple choice. You'll only have 3 options now, because I already told you it wasn't Tony Stark. So is it Steve Rogers, Clint Barton, or Bruce Banner?
I'm going to go with not Steve. I'm going to go with Bruce Banner.
Locking it in?
Locking her in.
It was actually Clint Barton. Hawkeye.
Really? Why don't I remember?
Yeah, I don't remember that either. But I checked the wiki to double check, and it was.
I literally remember every other person trying it but him.
Yeah, he was the first one. I guess it just maybe it's.
I need to rewatch us.
I haven't rewatched that one in a while. Age of Ultron.
I haven't either. That'll be interesting to see where you rank this one later.
Yeah, true. Okay. What was Scott Lang's best friend Luis arrested for stealing?
Arrested for stealing. I feel like it's something stupid. I don't remember. Is it a car?
It is not a car. I'll bring up the multiple choice. Is it a van, a waffle maker, smoothie maker, or autographed picture of Captain America?
I just feel like it's in his character to be an autographed picture of Captain America.
Final answer?
Yes.
It was actually two. It was 2 smoothie makers. I think someone says smoothie maker, and he said, it was 2 smoothie makers.
Oh, Luis.
Yeah, I had to have a question about him.
Yes.
Next one. In Captain America Civil War, all heroes captured by Iron Man as fugitives are placed into a facility known by what name?
Ooh, that's a good question too. It's that one on the ocean.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
It is. It is. Gosh, give me the multiple choice.
Okay. Is it the kiln, the raft, the ring, or the box?
I think it's the raft B.
Locking it in?
Yeah, or the box. But yeah, the raft.
It is the raft. Yep. Good job.
I stuck with my gun.
You did.
Woo.
The ocean kind of gave it away. Raft on the ocean. So.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
What's the Kylan?
The kiln, I think, is where the Guardians are thrown in the first movie. I think that's the space prison. I think.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure, but. How are Eric Killmonger and T'Challa related?
I believe they're cousins, right? Final answer?
They are cousins.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Nicely done. That was a quick one.
It was.
Which of these characters has Thor never had a verbal interaction with on screen? So I'm going to bring up the multiple choice, and if you get it right, you get 2 points, because this one you kind of need multiple choice. Is it Groot, Captain Marvel, Gamora, or Spider-Man?
That's funny because I never thought about it, but I'm 99% sure it's Spider-Man. Final answer?
It is Spider-Man. Yeah, I put this in here because I did not know that either. I hadn't really ever thought about it, but yeah, I don't think they even have a scene really together.
That's really weird. I've never thought about that. Now I want to see them in a scene together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, what is the name of the dwarf that created Stormbreaker in Avengers Infinity War?
Ooh. I know who plays the dwarf.
I'll give you a half point for who plays the dwarf.
Oh, you'll give me. Oh, hold on. Let me try to guess the actual thing first. I found the tip of my tongue. Okay, it is. I'm trying to. I feel like it starts with an E. Irritable. I was about to say Ariel. Like L. God. Okay. I don't. L. I tree or E tree or something.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
It is E tree. Nice. Okay, and who plays him?
What's that?
Who plays him? I'll give you an extra half point.
Who plays him? His name. He's from Game of Thrones, and his name is Peter Dinklage. Not Peter Parker, but Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage. Yep. All right, that'll bring you up to 13. We'll get rid of that half point. Round you up for that.
Yeah.
Nice. In Avengers Infinity War, which Infinity Stone does Natasha sacrifice herself for?
Well, that's a good question, too. It is... That's a good question. I feel like it should be easier. So, the stones are... If we're naming the stones, there's mind, reality, power... Okay. Time and... What's the last one? Soul. Okay, I think it's the Soul Stone then, correct? Final answer?
It is the Soul Stone.
Okay.
Very nice.
I wasn't sure for some reason I wasn't sure if it was the mind or soul.
Yeah, that's kind of why I put that in here, because I always got those mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have 2 more. Getting into the newer stuff.
Uh-oh.
What does Kukulkan mean?
Kukulkan. I need the multiple choice.
Do you know what movie this is from?
Kukulkan. Black Panther?
Yeah, Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, Wakanda Forever, yeah.
Okay, does it mean rain serpent god, feather serpent god, dragon serpent god, or ocean serpent god?
I believe feather serpent god, correct? Final answer?
That is correct. All right. Nice.
Yeah, it's because it's the bad guy, right? Namor or whatever.
Yeah, Namor. He's also called Kukulkan.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he has the. I just sounded funny. Kukulkan.
Yeah.
Kukulkan. All right. That's a good one.
And finally, what is the name of the otter that Rocket befriends in the High Evolutionary's lab?
Oh, that's a good one because they're all made like cute names.
Yep.
That's a really good question. I'm gonna need multiple choice. I know I'm gonna know when I see it.
Is it Teefs, Floor, Lila, or Ayesha? Or
it's
Ayesha?
Lila.
It is Lila.
Yeah. That movie is. Oh yeah, we'll get into that later. But...
Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
All right, you got 18 out of 30 on this one.
Is that what I got with the Star Wars one last week?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the exact same.
Jeez, I need to get into the 20s, man. At least I didn't go backwards.
That's true. That's true. Yep.
Those are good questions. I kind of like some of the ones you throw in there, like the who picked up the hammer first, because it has like no significance, but it's really interesting.
Right. Yeah.
Or like
that's true.
Oh, and the Spider-Man one was the most interesting one to me.
Yeah, I didn't know that, so I thought that was a cool question.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, switching gears again. We're gonna play Guess the Game. I'm gonna play a song for you, and you're gonna have to. I've changed the points a little bit, so you'll give me the name of the original game for 2 points, or if you can name just the franchise, it'll be 1 point. I'm not making you name the exact name of the song. I feel like that's kind of too hard.
Okay, that works.
But yeah, if you get the exact game, 2 points. Overall franchise, 1 point.
Okay.
Okay, here's the first song. Let me know if you can hear it. You're able to hear it, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Okay. I think I have it. Maybe.
Okay. Turn this down.
Oh, that sounds so epic. I don't know. Now my mind's changing.
What was your... It won't be your official guess, but what was your initial thought?
The initial one, for some reason, it sounded like a Call of Duty game or Medal of Honor.
Okay.
So I'll just go with... Or Battlefield. It sounds like a shooter.
Okay. It does sound like that. I'll give you that. Ooh, but does this part change your mind at all?
I don't know. I'll have to... I'm not sure.
So what are you going to throw out there as a guess?
So I'm going to throw... I'll throw out sounds like a Battlefield or something. So I'll throw out just Battlefield.
Okay.
Wrong. It sounded a little Spider-Man-y for a second.
You're very close. It's Batman, Arkham City.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a great game.
It sounded superhero-y.
Yeah.
Superhero-y. Right there. Okay.
Yep.
But then it kind of sounded like Battlefield to me. Like some.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I could totally see that when you said it. Yeah. I agree.
Okay, that was good. That was a great game too, by the way.
Yep. All right, second one. I love this song.
This sounds so familiar. Let me just keep listening.
Yep.
I know this.
Yeah, you do. I'm pretty sure.
Gosh, I know this, and it's still, it sounds like Donkey Kong 2.
Sounds like what?
2. Is it a Donkey Kong game?
It is not a Donkey Kong game.
All right, can I get a hint for a point less?
Let's see. What would be a good hint?
God, that sounds so familiar.
It's a It's a game made by BioWare. That might be a little too specific, but
okay, Mass Effect.
Yeah, that was too easy of a hint, but yeah.
I knew it sounded so familiar, and I just played that last year.
Yeah, it's so good. I love this game, the song.
Yes, yeah, that was a big hint.
Yeah.
I can see how you could think of another hint, because
yeah, maybe I'll try and come up with hints beforehand, in case you need it. All right.
Yeah.
Next one.
I clearly know what this is too.
Absolutely. You definitely know what this is.
It's Zelda, right?
It is Zelda. Good. So that's at least 1 point.
And the game it sounds like Twilight Princess.
Is that what you're going with?
Yes.
Yep, it's Midna's Lament from Twilight Princess. Very nice.
I love that game.
2 points. I know, so good. That song is my favorite in that game.
Oh, it has that I love it. That kind of darkness to it too.
Yep, for sure. Okay. This one I don't know if you'll know, but we'll see.
Okay. Sounds like an older game.
Say that again?
It sounds like an older game.
Okay, yep.
Is it Pokemon?
It's not Pokemon.
Oh,
let me double check and I'll give you a hint. That will be a little bit more vague, but keep listening. Let's see. Okay, this was a PlayStation 2 game.
Is it a Final Fantasy game?
It is not.
Jeez, man. There's probably some people watching this. I know what it is.
I'm not totally sure you played this exact one. I think you have played the franchise, but I'm not 100% sure on that either. So should I bring it up?
PlayStation 2.
PlayStation
Gosh.
2.
Yeah, bring it up.
It's Metal Gear Solid 2. Did you play that one? You played some of them, right?
Yeah, I have played 2, not for a while. The one I played the most was Twin Snakes, which is a remake of 1.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But I haven't played 2 enough to recognize it fully.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Those are games that I've gotten into, but not all of them. Have you played those?
No, I haven't gotten into them hardly at all. I want to. They look good. That's one
They are good.
I'll need to in the future.
Yeah.
Okay. This might be the quickest round in all of rounds.
Oh God, pressure. Oh, Mario?
It is Mario.
Sunshine? The worst 3D Mario game ever?
It is Sunshine. I love Sunshine. You don't like Sunshine?
I don't hate it. I like it, but I just think it's the worst one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I don't think it's that controversial.
They're all great. But yeah, it probably is the worst one. I love the music in Sunshine, though.
I do love the music. Is that the thing I remember most of Sunshine is, I was a kid. It was like playing. It was like a nice hot summer day, in Arizona.
Yep.
Playing this game, just so happy, right? It was sunny outside. We're playing this music Saturday morning. You're right. Look, too harsh on it.
Yeah, I mean, saying it's the worst one, it's still a great game. It's just there's a lot of really good 3D Mario games. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Banjo-Kazooie?
It is Banjo-Kazooie. Do you know what level it's from? Just curious.
This sounds like the sewage one.
Yeah, it's
Rust.
Yeah.
Rust. Yeah.
Yeah, you get there through the sewers. Yeah, Rusty Bucket Bay.
Oh, Banjo-Kazooie, another one of those great games as a kid.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh, so many memories playing that.
Yeah, that's a great.
I could just tell what they're doing.
Yeah. It has a very specific type of music. It's pretty easy to recognize. Next up.
Sounds like Is it Street Fighter?
That's an interesting guess. It is not Street Fighter. I could see why you would think it would be something like that.
Oh, it sounds very familiar too.
Yep.
All right, can I get a hint for this one? You have one?
This game came out on the GameCube.
Man, that sounds so... I don't know. Super Monkey Ball.
It is... Ooh, Monkey Ball's a good guess. Okay, for no points, I'll give you this and you'll probably get it instantly. It is also a fighting game.
Soul Calibur?
Ooh, no. It's actually Smash Bros. Melee.
This is Smash Bros?
It's the Break the Targets theme when you do the Break the Targets. Yep.
Wow. Man. Hey, in my defense though, Smash Bros. Is a celebration of all video games.
Yeah, but Melee didn't have any of the games you named in it.
Literally not any.
Ultimate, I would have given you Street Fighter. Like, yeah, there's an argument there maybe, but... All right. This one's kind of soft at first.
The Last of Us.
It is The Last of Us.
I know me, The Last of Us.
Nailed it, yep. It's a good main theme.
It is.
And it fits the theme of the game very well.
Oh, the first game's amazing. The second game...
I still haven't played all the way through.
The first or second one?
Both, either. Like, I've gone halfway through the first, but I haven't touched the second.
Oh, you got it. That first game, masterpiece.
For sure.
Second game, the gameplay is a lot better in the second game. Like, everything about the second game is better except for the freaking story.
Maybe once I finish with Baldur's Gate, I'll go do that one.
And it scares me what they're going to do in the show.
I see.
But that's a topic for another day.
Yeah. Okay.
This one sounds like freaking Medal of Honor too. I need to hear it a little bit longer.
Yeah, I might replay the start because I think the start is what gives it away the most.
And you think I know this one?
I know you know this one.
Oh, great.
We played this together.
Oh, great.
Okay, just
Do
there.
the beginning again.
Yeah, it was that, but here, listen to the beginning and think.
God, I feel like I used to like do that when the menu started when we played it.
And it does it in the game too when you find stuff. That same sound.
Is it? Jeez, dude, I know. Like, I feel like memories are popping up. Oh, it's gonna make me mad because when you find it in the game, when you find something in the game, it does that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're gonna say this and it's gonna make me so mad. What is it?
Yeah, you're gonna be so mad. It's Gears of War.
That makes it. I knew. You're right. That do. Yeah, oh my god. I'm mad at myself for that because I love that game. Jeez. Sorry.
All right. Last one.
And on a high note. Pokemon, right?
It is not Pokemon.
This sounds familiar too. Like, all these obviously are familiar to me because I'm sure I've played them. I just can't place them.
I'll give you a hint right now, and then maybe another one if I can think of one, but I've used this game in one of these quizzes before.
Oh. Okay.
I think you may have said
retro.
this game in this quiz.
What, Street Fighter?
It's not Street Fighter.
Sounds retro.
Yep.
Oh, Donkey Kong?
It is Donkey Kong. Do you know which game specifically?
Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze?
It is not Tropical Freeze.
Ooh,
It's
what is it?
Country.
The OG. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Man.
I'll give you 1 point for the Donkey Kong. So you're at 10. 10 out of 20.
I'm still disappointed because I know these freaking songs.
I know. I know.
Well, it's so hard to place them.
Yep.
But, you know, I'm a rookie, man.
You'll get better. Yeah.
I will.
It's fun putting these together, going through old songs and just having the nostalgia.
That's right, because you did use this one and the other one, because I loved that.
I did the aquatic ambiance in the other one.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff.
Okay, now to the difficult part.
Okay.
Let's make this Marvel movie tier list. I stuck to just the movies because I'm not sure if we have time to do all the TV shows and everything too. And I went through and put them in timeline order. So.
Okay. Perfect.
And do we want to get rid of E or leave the E and just use all these? We might. We can see. We'll just start. So start with Iron Man 1.
I would put it in S tier.
Yeah, I agree. It started it. It's really good. They basically, didn't they just like ad-lib the whole thing and it turned out really good?
Yeah, with Robert Downey Jr. and it still holds up today.
Yeah.
Effects and everything.
For sure. And it kicked it all off.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely the best Iron Man movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's not saying much. But...
Okay. Incredible. Yeah. Edward Norton's Incredible Hulk.
I'm curious where you would put this.
It's been a long time since I've watched this. Just from what I remember, I would put it probably in C.
Okay.
Maybe B, but I don't remember it that well, which makes me think it wasn't. Like, the Abomination was kind of cool. That was a cool fight. But I don't remember much else of the movie, honestly. It's been a long time since I rewatched it, though. What do you think?
Yeah, I would put it at C. I rewatched it last year, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything special.
Yeah.
But I think the effects look good. The Abomination was pretty cool, and the guy who played Abomination, God, his name Tim Roth, I think his name is.
Yeah, that is who did.
I mean, he has such a cool line. I remember him saying, "Like, how do you feel like a monster?" Like, I don't know. It's just
that is a good line.
It's average, but it's kind of hard to do.
I almost forget that it's an MCU movie. that's kind of
like everyone does.
Yeah.
Because technically, the Incredible that would have kicked off the MCU, but no one.
Yeah.
No one counts that.
Yeah. Okay, this is Iron Man 2.
Oh man.
Let me think. Which one was Iron Man 2? That was the one with the War Machine and Whiplash.
I will say this, I don't hate it as much as most people.
I agree. It's just kind of like not as memorable as Iron Man 1.
I would put it at C.
I agree. I don't know whether I put it above or below. Probably below, but I don't know.
I'll probably put it below too. Like the scene was cool when War Machine and Iron Man were in that plant place fighting all the robots. Like it had cool and Whiplash had potential.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I'd put it in C. A lot of people probably would have ranked that less, but
yeah. Okay, Thor 1.
I would put in probably B.
Yeah, I like Thor 1. It's pretty good. It's not like the best movie, but
No, definitely better than average. Like it's for a superhero movie, it's good, acting good, special effects good.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's just an introduction, nothing. It introduced Loki. So like it was good, but not like Iron Man 1 good.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay, Captain America, the first Avenger.
So I think I like this more than most people too. I'd probably put it at B as well.
I would put it low B, high C, somewhere in there. I think you like it a little more than me. I think if there was a little less montage and a little more show in the fights, it would be higher for me. But it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
I just like that. I love the atmosphere and the time period and the ending of it. I had a dance. Like I liked it more than most people, but I agree with you. Like that's why I kind of say B. It's good, but it doesn't have that super. Besides the time period, it doesn't have that super memorable moments.
Yeah, for sure. The Avengers.
So this one's tricky for me because if you want to just put like history and epicness, S, but if you want me to put like be honest, like it's not even my favorite Avenger movie. Like so I'd probably put it at A to be quite honest, but like you almost have to put it at S because it's the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, I was thinking S. Like
I think Infinity War and Endgame are better movies. I'm not saying this movie's bad. It's just a very basic team up. Which I guess at the time was fine.
It was like the first one.
Yeah.
So it had some novelty to it. But now after all how huge Endgame and it seems when you go back and watch it, it seems less impactful.
But I get what you're saying because if I'm gonna rate it as if I was in that time in that moment, and I would put it in S.
Yeah.
If it was 2012 right now.
S for sure. Yeah.
That was iconic. So I'll put it S.
We could maybe move it down if we have too many S's. We'll see.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man 3.
Oh man.
Iron Man 3.
This one I'm split on too because I actually liked Iron Man's character in this movie. I liked the whole Christmas feeling. Yeah. I hated the Mandalorian twist.
Yeah.
And that's to me is what brings it down. I know some people didn't mind it because it was funny and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean it was okay, but like what it could have been, I think, is what brings it down for me.
I would probably put it in D right where you have it. It's sad though because I actually liked I thought Iron Man in this movie he had
Iron Man was good. I don't feel like the villain Killian was that good, and the Extremis stuff.
No.
It was just average, like nothing special.
And the ending wasn't. I mean, it wasn't my favorite. Just a bunch of no-name robots fighting.
And then they just all explode. But then he has them back after. Like, it was kind of,
Yeah, I agree. I'll put it in D.
Yeah. Thor: The Dark World.
Oh, it's getting good.
Getting good. This is probably the least memorable movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because it's honestly longer ago than some of the other ones.
Empty.
Yeah, empty.
You're right. It was
like Malekith could have been cool, but he was just so generic, and like the team up between Thor and Loki's cool, but the story was just, I don't know, like
that's the best way to put it.
Nothing really hit. Yeah, it was generic.
It felt like that movie had, like, in the grand scheme of things, that movie was almost pointless. Like, that movie didn't even need to be made.
Yeah, I agree. It didn't impact very much of the rest of the.
Yeah, I agree. Not the best. I'll put it this way: I don't go back and rewatch that.
No, I don't either. Okay, Captain America, the
S.
Winter Soldier. Yeah, S.
Freaking S tier. That might be actually my favorite freaking movie out of all of them.
Yeah, it's really good. It felt like the first one that really stepped it up in terms of like production and right. Like there was something about it where it was like, dang, this is like on another level. Like Avengers was big because it had the team up, but Winter Soldier for me, like
raw fighting. It felt like real, and like that's what the movie that made everyone love Captain America. Like in the first movie, I mean, Captain America was okay, but it was never people's favorite.
Yeah.
After the Winter Soldier, they made Captain America like a badass.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and using his shit. Yeah, I think that's top notch. Action, everything.
Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
I'll put that in A, probably.
I would agree with A. It's really good.
I love it.
Yep. It's not like the best of the best, but it's a solid movie. I'll go back and rewatch that one for sure.
Yeah, it's better than most, but it's not like that top tier.
Yep.
For me,
Age of Ultron.
So this is going to be the interesting one, because I feel like we may rate this different.
I'm trying to... It was a little disappointing, but it's hard to tell, like, if it was because it was a bad movie or because I was expecting, like, the Avengers appear.
Like, it's
to be on the same level. Yeah. I'm stuck between B and C, I think. Like, I think it's a pretty good movie. The fact that it's Avengers and not S tier might drop it down to C. I don't know. What do you think?
So I would actually put it at B. I know a lot of people bagged this movie.
Yeah.
But Ultron was an awesome villain.
Ultron was cool.
Menacing. I thought the movie was hilarious. I love like that scene we were talking about with picking up the hammer. Like, I thought this is the first time, like the first movie, the Avengers weren't really together, like, and when they were just action. This one, they're hanging out, they know each other.
Yeah.
I think this one was maybe not underrated, but underappreciated. I liked it.
Could be.
Not the best.
This is the one this is the Avengers I've rewatched the least. I probably need to go back and rewatch it and see.
It's funny. Like, it's a funny movie.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
do
like,
remember it having a lot of quips and being funny. Yeah.
So, like, I liked it. And a lot of people would rank it the last Avengers movie, but so would I. It doesn't mean I don't like it.
It's true. It is still an Avengers movie, and you get to see them all fight. And one thing, I don't like how they killed off a speedster by shooting him. That seems kind of silly, but, you know.
I know. Were they trying to be, like, ironic or something?
I don't know.
Irony, or I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't that good of a character, so.
Yeah. Okay.
But we got Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch is cool, for sure. Ant-Man. The first
Ant-Man, I would put at B.
I could do A or B, yeah. Like, yeah, I could
Smaller
see B.
Scale, like, I loved the characters. I loved the no high stakes.
Yeah,
it was interesting finally having an Avenger with like a daughter. You know, it kind of did a different dynamic.
Yeah,
like that fight scene at the end was really cool. Like in the room and they shrunk and it's like,
that was really cool
and all that. Like, so like I liked it.
Yeah, Ant-Man 1 was good.
I'll put that B. Like I said, I don't think it's to the scale of like Guardians or like any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
I could do B for sure, yeah. Civil War.
I'm curious where you put this.
So, this to me felt like an Avengers movie. I think I would put it above Ultron for sure. I think it's at least an A. Possibly S, but I agree.
It's hard because I would put it at A or S too, and I'm kind of contemplating because I think as far as like characters, Civil War is top notch.
Yeah.
Like you're getting, Tony and they're divided, and it's not about the action, even though there is great action.
Yeah, there is.
It's the characters. It's very like political and very like it's very like philosophical. Like what's better, right? Should they have more control over us, or we should be free? I'd put it at S tier.
I think I would put it at S tier. I like how they pitted them against each other. It felt pretty natural. Like I feel like they could have done this where they're just fighting over something stupid, but they made it like have a lot of emotional weight and
that's what changed the rest of the movies. That's the kind of divide. That's what divided everybody really until the next Avenger movies.
Yep, for sure. Doctor Strange. I think I think I would put this either B or A. Well, let me think. Is it above any of these?
I would put it in B. I would probably put it above Ant-Man, Avengers, probably, and probably even a Captain America.
Yeah, it was a really good origin story.
Yeah, I liked it, and I liked the magic aspect.
Yep, the mirror dimension thing was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was a solid introduction. Nothing crazy, but like solid.
Yep. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I'm curious where you put this because I feel like we're gonna be different on this.
I initially liked it, but honestly, this is another one that's kind of forgettable.
I'm into my. Well, I don't know. People are, different about this, but I did not like this movie. I would put it at D. That's how much I didn't like it. But I know that
okay. Like, it introduced Mantis, who's pretty cool, and I don't really remember her in that one, honestly. But in the future movies, she's pretty cool.
People like the villain Ego, but
I did not really.
It was so obvious. It was the most obvious thing in the world, and it just felt like it tried to do the first movie over again, and it felt like, to me, that's boring. That's childish.
Yeah,
the first one worked so good, I'm going to do the exact same thing.
Yep.
I
Iron Man 3 above Thor: The Dark World. I would agree with that. Like I could maybe move it up to C. That's not saying that much. It's not one of my favorites. Yeah.
People tend to like that movie still.
I think it's just because the Guardians are such a good group. Like,
yeah,
they're so likable. But that movie overall, just to me, was forgettable.
Yeah. Agreed.
Spider-Man. Is this? I think I might have mixed this up. Is Far From Home? No, Homecoming is the first.
Far From Home's the second one. Homecoming's the first one.
Okay. Yeah.
Homecoming. I'll put an A. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
I know there's those true Spider-Man lovers that this isn't Spider-Man, yada yada yada.
I don't.
I thought Tom Holland did great. Yeah. I thought the villain was
the Vulture
awesome.
was cool. Yeah, I like the Vulture.
So intimidating, and I thought it was a good origin story without being an origin story.
Yeah. And the dynamic between Tony and Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I loved all that. I thought it was really good.
Great. His companion, Ned, and of course, Ned's great. Zendaya, and it was good. I liked it. I think that's one of the better movies. Like I'll rewatch. Honestly, I'll rewatch all those Spider-Man movies, but we'll get to the other ones.
Yeah. Okay, Thor Ragnarok.
I would probably put this in S tier.
Yeah, I would agree. It's either the highest of A or the low, like, or in S. It's such a good movie.
Yeah, you're right. It could be the highest of A, but for now, I'd probably put it in like those. That's one of the movies where I will put on my rotation of I need to rewatch this again.
Yeah, me too, for sure. Yeah, Thor Ragnarok is so good. Black Panther.
I'm interested. I would put it in B.
In B, yeah.
A lot of people would probably put it higher, but the villain, awesome.
Yep, Killmonger's great.
And even, T'Challa, like Black Panther, I thought he was great too. But that's it. I thought it was, everyone praises for being the best thing in the world, and for some reasons it was.
Yeah, I could maybe bump it up to A. I like it, but it's.
What puts it down for me is the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, I agree.
It was just,
like that fight could have been so cool, and it just wasn't. It didn't hit like it should have.
Apparently, it's a problem with Black Panther because I'm going to say the same thing with the second.
Yeah,
but I'll put that B. It was significant. It was a movie that was important. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to demean the movie. Me personally, I think it's overrated. I think it's an average movie.
Yeah.
So that's why I would put it at B. But
I could agree with that. I could go with B or A. So I'll leave it at top of B. That's fine with me.
Yep.
Avengers Infinity War.
I would put that right behind Winter Soldier, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
I think that is the best Avengers movie, better than Endgame too.
Yeah, I agree. I think Infinity War. I could probably switch these and put Infinity War here. But...
I probably could too. Like that movie, man. That was I remember seeing that in theaters, man. Just
so good.
Nothing to compare. Like it was insane. And when Thor dropped in with Rocket Raccoon at the very end.
So
after
cool.
Like the snap and like, God, dude, I don't think there'll ever be a moment like that again, at least for a long time.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely up there.
Having to wait for 6 months or whatever it was just to know what happens.
Yep.
Oh, that was so
excitement.
Great.
Yeah, I agree.
Great.
Probably best MCU movie.
Yeah, I'll put that. Yeah, I'll put that over Winter Soldier. I agree.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is another one. This one actually might be the most of. I don't remember. Oh wait, now I don't remember what happened very much. Ghost is.
If you want to be honest, I don't remember either. But I remember I liked it, but it was okay. From what I remembered, I'd probably C.
I think because the ghost lady was pretty cool. I think I remember that. Yeah, that might mean we need to bump it down, but I think I liked it, but it's pretty forgettable.
From what I remembered is I did like it, but I didn't like it as much as the first.
Yeah,
I know
for
that
sure. I had the same.
Well, I would probably put it.
Yeah, I'll leave it at C. Captain Marvel. I think you're going to have a stronger feeling on this one than I am.
I would put that at D.
Yeah, I would put it between C or D. Like, it was okay. I didn't hate it, so I could put it in C, but I could see why you'd put it in D.
Her character in that movie, I just cannot stand. I'm sorry. Something about, she's so like smug, like I'm better.
She's very smug, yeah.
And for it being like themed in the 90s, I didn't feel like it, besides them shoehorning in Blockbuster. Like
True.
It was basic, and I know they brought in the Skrulls, which we can talk about that later, but I'm not a huge fan of the Skrulls. I'm not a fan of it. I would put that D.
It's definitely not. I think I've only seen this movie once, maybe twice. Like, I do not rewatch this one.
Yeah, it's not that good. Second one looks even worse, though. So.
I haven't even bothered to look at the second one. So I guess I agree with you in D. Okay, Endgame.
I mean, you would have to put that in S just because it completes the story, right? Like,
where in S is a good question. It does. It's a good movie. Definitely not above Infinity War. I like that one better.
it's just hard because like if we're judging it on an individual movie, it doesn't like it's kind of hard to judge it on that.
Yeah.
Like Infinity War to me felt like a more complete movie.
Yeah, this is literally just the culmination of years and years of like everything being. It's hard to judge it by just it's.
Like you can watch Avengers Infinity War and it feels like there's a start, there's a middle, and it ends. Like Thanos won.
Yeah.
And in this movie, though, I feel like you lose that context, like what's going on. So I would, if I'm judging it as a combination, I mean, you would have to put it by Infinity War, right? One big movie.
True. Yeah, that's true.
But if you're judging it like individually, I'll probably put it behind Endgame and Iron Man, or Endgame and Iron Man, Winter Soldier and Iron Man.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's also a disservice, though. But
yeah, let's leave them here for now. Okay, so this is Far From Home. This is the one with Mysterio, right?
Yes. And I feel like I'm in a minority, but I love this one. I would probably put it in B.
I liked it.
I loved the whole like vacation, like they're in where'd they go, Italy or wherever they went.
Yeah.
Then I loved the whole style of it. And Mysterio was cool.
I thought the way they did Mysterio with the visual effects background was pretty interesting. I liked the end where it revealed he was Peter Parker. That was like a whoa moment. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I would put it in B.
I would agree. It's not as good as the first one, but still very solid. Oh. Black Widow.
This is one I don't have an opinion on because I've actually never seen this one.
Really? You've never seen Black Widow?
No, believe it or not. I haven't seen this, and I have not seen The Eternals. So those two, I cannot have an opinion.
Honestly, I'd probably put them in a similar spot. I did not particularly like Black Widow. I don't know if I'd put it in D or E.
It's a victim of wrong timing.
I also didn't like what they did with the enemy. I can't even remember his name. Taskmaster. Yeah, it didn't really hit with me. It took me forever to watch this movie. I didn't watch this movie till years after it came out, and then it just was So I'm okay, maybe above Thor, but
okay. I'm sure that's similar that most people would do.
Yeah. Shang-Chi. This is interesting.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I remember really liking this movie.
I would actually put this in A tier.
I was going to say A.
This is one of the better origin stories.
Yeah, it was a really good origin story.
Like, I really enjoyed this. The characters, I love the action.
It was funny. The action was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, like bringing in a new character after so many movies in the MCU, they did a really good job with that and making him unique. And yeah,
I'm mad they haven't haven't him cameo in like anything else.
Yeah,
like they keep having like these characters from the shows, like Miss Marvel and these other characters, and all these people like appearing, and like, where's he?
Yeah, I agree. He needs to come back for sure. Okay, Eternals. You have not watched. I would probably put it in E or F because I don't remember liking it particularly much, and I don't remember anything about that movie.
So yeah,
yeah, it's.
And those are the only two ones I haven't seen.
Yeah, that's probably a reason why you haven't seen them.
And I just didn't have an interest. Like, we already knew, spoiler, Black Widow was dead.
Yep.
And the Eternals just did not look good to me, just from the trailer. I wasn't interested at all.
I don't remember hardly anything. They did some weird thing with, like... Well, I guess I shouldn't spoil it unless... I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it one day.
Yeah, so they did some weird things in that movie that should have impacted other things, but didn't really. So, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what they're doing with that. This is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh, man.
This is the one.
I'll put that freaking here. I'll probably put that right underneath Winter Soldier or above Winter Soldier.
It's so good.
Like, I loved it. And you could you could argue that, it's all fanfare and story's not that great, yada yada yada.
I don't care.
I don't care.
That movie was so good. Seeing the 3 Spider-Mans together, and that's
like, I never ever thought in a billion years we'd ever see Tobey Maguire again. Like,
I agree.
That's what we grew up watching.
Yep. That was so cool seeing him.
Oh, and not only that, they played a part in the story too. It wasn't just like a little cameo.
Yeah. And what surprised me was how much Andrew Garfield carried. Like, him bouncing off the other Spider-Mans. His movies were probably my least favorite of the like Spider-Man movies overall. I still liked them, but like him as Spider-Man though was good, bouncing off all the other Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, even him in the movies. Actually, this would be interesting to have one week we should do like a specifically Spider-Man movies and theme. That'd be kind of interesting because there's so much of these Spider-Man movies.
True.
I actually think he did good. His movies are my least favorite, but him as actual Spider-Man, like I didn't care for him as Peter Parker.
Yeah, I agree.
But actually, Spider-Man was always great.
Yeah, like definitely. He was held back by his movies, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And this movie showed it, right? Like, because he was probably, as much as I love Tobey Maguire, he was probably like the scene stealer, in this movie.
I agree.
But yeah, a great movie.
Okay, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, we're getting to the interesting ones now. Honestly, like I think this is a very average movie. I would say C.
Average is a good way to put it. Like, there were some things that were good about this movie, like the horror. They made Scarlet Witch seem pretty scary, like the horror aspect of Sam Raimi. But like, that's kind of.
But like, it felt like. You know what it felt like? It felt like Sam Raimi was only allowed to do so much, and Marvel's like, okay, you can't do too much. Because half of it felt like his cool, like creepy style. Like, I know you never saw The Evil Dead or any of those. Yeah. But like they kind of have like his style, and then like half of it seems like, oh, you can't go too far.
Yeah, I agree.
And I do think, as cool as it was to see some of those cameos, like. For it being called Multiverse of Madness, they didn't go to a lot of places.
Yeah, true.
Or at least a lot of places, like, for longer than, like, a little split second.
Yeah, the cameos were cool. But, yeah.
They were cool, yeah. And one last thing on this one. This is a trend with these movies. The hero that the movie is titled after is never actually the hero in these movies. It's always someone else.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was
with the newer ones.
America with the newer ones, yeah. Like with this one,
America Chavez.
We'll get to all the other ones, specifically the shows.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Hawkeye and. Anyways, yeah. So my issue is with these new ones throughout all of them is they tend to bring in new characters that are like more useful and powerful than them per se. I don't know.
Yeah, they're gearing up for the future, and I feel like it kind of holds these ones back a little bit.
It's a grim future.
Okay.
But yes, I am one of the people that are not looking forward to a lot of future projects.
We'll see. Yeah.
But
I've fallen off a little bit, but they could bring me back in. We'll see. All right.
We'll see.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
I think this is average too. I would put this at C.
I think it's average. Like, I had some laughs in the theater, but it felt very much like a popcorn or like a snack food rather than like a full meal kind of thing. Like,
and for them digging into such deep themes,
like it was a little too goofy.
Yeah, and like it's a little too
God slaying.
Yeah, like God slaying and death and and cancer and all. Like, it's a little too like that's what Ragnarok had the right balance.
Yeah.
And this didn't, and I think even Chris Hemsworth even admitted that.
Yeah.
He said they're having so much fun making this movie that they, when you're having so much fun making it, and after I realizes
that makes sense. Yeah.
Now I will say, I actually, again, I don't know if a lot of people like this. I actually liked the ending. I love the idea of like Thor kind of, and maybe it's because I'm a father with a daughter.
Yeah, Thor dad was pretty cool to see. I like that too.
And the actress was his real daughter. Apparently.
Yeah, that's really cool.
like I think that's such an interesting thing to take this character, because he's kind of already like a goofball dad type thing.
Yeah.
I actually liked the ending. Like, the ending actually did get me excited for future stuff, because it'd be so interesting to see him like kind of train a daughter type thing, and keep that goofiness, but like it's like serious stakes, right? Like it's your kid.
Yeah. And the after credit scene was it Hercules? I forget what the character.
Oh yeah, Hercules was.
I really like the actor who's playing a Hercules. He's great in Ted Lasso. And so.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's Roy.
See, I didn't start watching Ted Lasso until after I saw that. But now
I was literally watching Ted Lasso when I saw Thor: Love and Thunder. So I was like, oh my God, that's Roy.
Man, if I would have watched Ted Lasso first and saw that, I would have gone even more crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as much as I give crap on this movie, I liked the ending. I liked the potential of what they can do.
Yeah.
So at least with this one, it ended hopefully for me.
True. Yeah. Okay. Wakanda Forever.
I would probably put this one in, I feel like there's so many B's, but I'd probably put it in B too.
Yeah, I was trying to think if I liked it better than the first one. And I
personally did not.
So. What the heck? Stop it, you. Yeah. I think it was a great send off to Chadwick. I think it's more middle B.
I agree. And the action, excluding the last 30 minutes, don't get me started with that. The action was actually really good. And the girl who took over the mantle, I didn't dislike her, so that's saying something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, it's not going to be Chadwick Boseman. Sure. I mean, they're not going to top that, but I don't think they were trying to go for that.
Yeah.
The only thing with this movie that held it down, because this could have been an A. Like, I did like it that much.
I was debating A, but yeah, there's...
The last 30 minutes, like, I just don't... I don't know what is with these Black Panther movies, but the end, to me, just aren't good.
I wonder if it... I don't know. Like, it makes it seem like one-on-one fighting for Black Panther just doesn't translate as well as...
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's just something about it. And then Shuri, like I said, I liked her, but all of a sudden she was like a pro at the end, hopping off walls.
It's true, she did pick it up very quickly.
And it'd be fine if they like showed her like training a little more. I know she already has some experience, with technology and stuff, but I don't know, it's like a big thing.
Yeah.
So that was one criticism.
She just got the Black Panther flower and then was able to defeat Namor no problem. Like there was no
she's like clawing up walls and doing flips and all this stuff. Like, dang girl, it was cool, but like, so. And then I thought the end. Well, just contradicting myself, but the very very last scene I thought was pretty decent.
Yeah,
with the talk with I don't want to spoil it, but the talk at the end.
Very emotional. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good scene.
So I thought it was good. And when I was in the theater, I remember walking out. I'm like, man, this was good.
Yeah.
It's a good send off. That bridge scene with the Michonne girl, the actress who plays Michonne, I thought was the best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So better. It has better highs than the lows. So.
Yeah. True. Now, the opposite of that, Quantumania. I'd put it maybe D.
I'm telling you, man. I might. This is I don't know if I don't know if this is controversial, but I might even like Thor: The Dark World more than this. I did not like this movie.
So you'd want to put it in E or F?
I would put it in E or F.
Yeah, let's
like
put
the
it
first two movies, it was.
Yeah, like after the first two, it's pretty disappointing.
I was gonna go on a rant, but I'm like, it's too much.
Yeah. We'll just leave it there, and it's not worth it.
No, it's not worth it. Move on.
Okay, Guardians 3, I think, is at least an A.
So
maybe
I'm gonna say
S.
This is my favorite Guardians movie. I like it more than the first one, even.
Yeah, it was.
And I was
really
curious
good.
on your thoughts, which we could talk about after this.
Yeah, it was really good. It would either be here for me or here. Maybe we'll do it top of A. If I can get it.
I would put like top of A. I'd put it above Guardians 1.
Yeah.
I really love this movie. again, we'll talk about it here in a second. But
do you want to shuffle any of these around before we go? Let's see. These look good. Yeah.
No, those top movies are probably what I would. I keep wanting to put Civil War kind of above Avengers and Iron Man.
Yeah.
But I'll maybe above. I don't know. I would actually probably put it above Avengers, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And probably Iron Man, just because it was so like.
It's a really good movie.
It was such good characterization and just like the character. It had all the Avengers, but it wasn't about the action. Like,
yeah,
and I loved that. Guardians, I've probably that same.
That's good.
Yeah, those would probably stay the same. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid list.
Yeah, let me download it. Oh wait. Am I not logged in? I thought, well, let me... Oh, I think I'm logged in on... No, I can log in with Google. Yeah, I'll download it real quick.
Okay.
Oh, of course, and then it took me off of it. Well, we have it recorded, so I could just take a screenshot of it if I need to. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Okay. MCU tier list. Save. Okay.
Sweet.
All right. So
I got like 10 minutes left.
Yeah, let's talk about Guardians since we just finished that up, because I want to talk about that, and then we'll end.
Okay. I want to get your thoughts first. Just because it's kind of fresh in your mind.
So, I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I thought the bad guy was one of the... I hated this bad guy more than almost any other Marvel bad guy. The High Evolutionary was a piece of crap. And there were some serious moments of catharsis with Rocket, like, scratching his face off. And, like, I thought they did a really good job of making that guy hateable.
Yeah, no, they did a great job on that. I agree.
I thought Rocket, seeing his backstory, it was heartbreaking, but it was really interesting to see how he got how he was, and and a couple of, like, I thought Groot was really cool in this movie. They actually utilized him like an actual tank, or like, and I don't know. I thought every scene with Groot fighting was an amazing fight scene. That hallway scene where it was like the one shot kind of
that was pretty
so
awesome.
good.
I'm sick of that song being used in everything.
I thought the ending song was perfect.
Oh, the ending song was perfect. Yeah. I agree.
That whole scene, the happy send off, was so great after such like an emotional movie of learning all these horrible things the High Evolutionary has done.
And it was like real, right? Because it was sad, but not like sad. It was like sad and happy. Kind of going off on your own, but new times. Yeah.
I actually kind of like what they did with Adam Warlock. They, like, having him be stupid and like a kid almost, and was an interesting way to introduce him and nerf him, because, like, isn't he like super duper strong? So, like,
yeah, he's like insanely strong.
So I thought his scenes were funny. Yeah, I liked what they did with it, and I'm interested to see where it goes. I thought as an introductory character that could be big in future movies, this was probably one of the better ones done more recently.
Okay.
Because it didn't too much negatively impact the movie or anything. Whereas Riri, I feel like didn't do anything and kind of took away from it, and Black Panther, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. Kind of.
Okay.
So for me, well, did you have any other points you wanted to point out?
I think that's the main. If I think of anything else, I'll bring it up. But
yeah. Okay, so I agree with you. Like I said before, this was my favorite Guardians movie. The emotion, the characters. I thought all the characters acted like how they would be acting.
Yeah.
Like, Peter Quill.
Yep.
Being sad and mopey kind of, and also
sense,
of course, and Mantis or Drax, kind of like being it. To me, it totally made sense that he'd be like a father type.
Yeah, I know. I love that. I love that they went that direction with it. And I also liked the interactions between Mantis and Drax. I thought those were really good.
Yes. Did you watch the holiday special?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so that relationship started in that. You need to watch all. It's literally like 15, 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus, and you kind of like that's how that relationship kind of started. You can kind of tell that they played off of that Christmas special. You'll watch that Christmas special, and like, yeah, this is why they did this for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved their relationship, and I loved how Mantis, like I said, all the characters ended where I thought they should be ending.
Yeah.
Rocket Raccoon kind of like a leader because and Mantis needed to figure stuff out on her own.
It all made sense for sure.
It all made sense, and like you said, the villain. Oh my god, I wanted to freaking kill that dude.
I know.
Like,
that actor did a really good job of making me hate him.
Yes, and some of those scenes, man, of those flashbacks were so like dark and like disturbing to watch.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, like even that scene where he was clawing his face, I'm like, dang, like this is
it was dark.
This is a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Rocket Raccoon, awesome. Like it all awesome. Now, where we kind of differ, I see what you're saying, is I do think the weakest part of the movie is Adam Warlock.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you give your thoughts on it.
I was just gonna say I don't necessarily dislike him. He just almost felt shoehorned in. Like he didn't need to be there.
Yeah, he didn't need to be there, maybe, is a good way to put it. But
like all the other aspects felt like deep and like connected and everything. And in his storyline, not that I liked his character. Like I said, I kind of liked how they kind of made him childlike because it makes sense. I just think he was the weakest. I think he was the weakest part of the movie and didn't need to be in it. I feel like they introduced him in it so they could have someone, in the next Guardians or something that people recognize.
I could see that. I thought he was going to be a bigger part of it. I thought he was going to be like the main bad from what I've seen. I didn't really watch too many trailers or anything. So it was interesting to me to see him like that. And then, but if you had like higher expectations, like I don't know anything about the character. So I wonder, are people like upset, or is that how the
people
character...
are disappointed in his character?
Yeah, that's why I think I don't mind it as much, because I had no expectations for him besides just seeing some screenshots of him and from the last movie. So I think that's why I don't have that like negative feeling towards it.
Yeah, and I mean I don't know too much about his character either. It's just for like if I'm trying to be a little snobby critic. That's just what I noticed. Like it just seemed like everything else seemed so perfect, like it was meant to be, and his storyline just felt like it wasn't meant to be. And they're like, "Hey, put this guy in so we get set up for something."
Yeah, he did kind of just disappear for long periods of time and then show back up.
Like randomly. He passed out like twice, and show up randomly. But again, I didn't mind his character. Like I'm not saying I disliked like his character. But yeah, no, so I agree. So out of 10, what would you give it? I know we put it in the, A tier?
Yeah.
S tier.
A tier would give me, let's see.
So if, 5 is average on our scale.
I think I would give this an 8 or a 9. Let's see, 10 would be like Infinity War.
9 would probably be like Iron Man.
Yeah, I'd give it like an 8. It was really good, like high up there on the tier list, like we just had.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8 too.
Probably the best recent Marvel movie.
Oh, for sure, and I think most people agree. Like I was looking at reviews, users and critics, and everyone. It's the most made superhero movie I think this year. So people really did like this one the most.
I could see why.
People like Black Panther too.
Yeah,
but I think
that's a good one.
I think people like this one more.
I would agree with that.
And then you had mentioned, what was the other thing you wanted to talk about?
We can save Secret Invasion for next week, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Have you finished it?
I have not. No.
Okay,
so that will give me.
Once you finish it, then we'll talk about it.
When I've been watching these things, I've been making notes.
Yeah, me too.
I can remember. But sweet.
All right. Well, I think that is where we will stop. Thanks everyone for joining the VGA podcast, and we will see you next week.